ask, how can I practice? My idea is because of we cling to I. Since we were born, I do this, I do that. For example, ones who want to drive a car, they have to start learning and then practicing with the coach or something like that. But this is called the ignorance of ordinary people who always cling to the I. But they forget, for unwholesome, we never claim or we never try to do it, try to make it like dosa, lopa, and moha. We never ask, how can I anger? How can I hate? How can I disappointed with someone? But when the time comes, appropriate condition, it happens. And sati is also the same, because like when Buddha taught Bahaya, Terucharya, the one who came to meet the Buddha when the Buddha was going for back food, Buddha did not tell him how to practice, but just teach him about the processing of the Dhamma that arise through the 6 doors, like Titte Tittamatam Pavisati. Yet seeing is just seeing. And Sote Sotamatam Pavisati, hearing is just hearing. And then Buddha said, you should learn this, not practice it, but learn it. Understand it, yeah. And at the last of the sutta, Buddha said, this is the cessation of suffering. Yeah. So the thing is, understanding is very important. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's always the idea of what can I do, how can I practice, and as you say, that's just the accumulation of clinging and wrong understanding. And if there is the idea of practicing or doing something impossible for awareness or understanding, that is satipatthana, to arise, because there hasn't been the development of pariyati. So without understanding about seeing now, which sees, as you mentioned, just the visible object that is seen, the rupa that is seen, always there will be the idea of I. So the pariyati understanding has to be firm, otherwise it cannot develop. So usually people would like to learn about satipatthana and about vipassana, and then how can I practice, but no understanding from the beginning about what is Dhamma now.
And also understanding is not something that can be practiced. Either there's understanding or there's not. The idea of practicing to have understanding means there's no clear idea of what understanding is. So thank you for those comments.
And so Kaya, because often people read the Satipatthana Sutta and they think of an order and being aware of Kaya. So what is your understanding of Kaya, Sochi?
Kaya here is just the object of the awareness. And Buddha said, Kaya exists, but it's only the object of developing the awareness and understanding.
And what is the object that is?
Metta, Rupa Dhamma.
Rupa Dhammas.
Yes.
So Kaya actually means group.
Yes.
So there are Nama
Dhamma.
Gaya and Rupa Gama. So Nama Gaya refers to Chaitasikas arising together in a group. So at a moment of seeing, the Chaitasikas that arise together are Nama Gaya. And here it is the Rupas that are experienced that we call a Gaya. Actually nothing to do with a physical body, because there is no body as such. So the hardness that is taken for an arm, that is the rupa that can be understood now.
Yeah, but for the Kayanupassana Satipatthana, I think it's easy to misunderstanding for the Anapanasati. You know, when they start studying about Anapanasati, they straight away to look to the form of practicing. You know, so this is the problem that always happens. Yeah.
It is a problem because there is no understanding of what is the breath, which can be the object of samatha when wisely considered, and there's no understanding of the rupa that is the object of right understanding, just if it appears. And what does it matter what reality appears, whether it is dosa or kindness, understanding or meanness, seeing or hearing, the rupa, which is the very subtle rupa, which is moments of disappointment if the food is not quite as one planned it, or someone doesn't taste what one has prepared. Is there sati at those moments, or just moments of dosa? And what about all the moments when there's just ignorance, not understanding? So this is the first point. The sati is not a lasting state. It's just a wholesome factor that arises for a moment. It doesn't belong to you or me or anyone. Sati, when we're talking about the development of the path, arises with panya. This morning we were talking about right understanding, panya. So at moments of kindness or generosity, there is sati, but usually no panya. But if we're talking about the development of sati sampajanya, awareness and understanding of dhammas, it arises with understanding for a moment. When we think about how I practice, how I meditate, how I focus, this is not the development of sati and panya, because it's the idea behind it of I doing something. So the teachings are so deep. So the four foundations in life, the four foundations refer to the objects of sati and panya being developed. So actually, any reality can be the object of awareness and understanding. Usually when we read about these objects, these four satipatthanas, usually there's not much understanding. For example, we read about Kayanupassana, kaya, and we think about being aware of the body. But is there a body? What is the body? What is the Dhamma? So each word, even a word like kaya, has to be carefully considered. What does it mean? Does it mean this whole body, or what does it mean? What is it referring to? Because we know in truth there's no person, there's no body. So what is the kaya? So every word has to be considered very carefully. Do you want to carry on?
So you've asked about sati, of satipatthana, the four foundations of mindfulness. As Sarah said, sati arises with every kusala citta, but in this context it is the sati that arises with panya that is being discussed. So we can say, instead of awareness or the four foundations of mindfulness, we can also say the four foundations of understanding, because it's both awareness and understanding arising at the same moment. Why did the Buddha refer to mindfulness and not to understanding? In many suttas, when he talked about understanding, he also referred to the mental factors that arise together with understanding. For example, with right understanding there is also right effort, and sometimes the Buddha spoke about right effort. There is also concentration, right concentration, and sometimes the Buddha spoke about concentration. And so in this sutta he spoke about the mindfulness, mental factor, cetasika, which arises together with understanding. But we must appreciate that it's really about understanding, which is accompanied by mindfulness, because it's not a question of mindfulness first and then understanding. No, they arise together. There cannot be a moment of just mindfulness, because mindfulness only arises with kusala citta of some kind, and there's no there's no kusala citta called the citta of mindfulness only. It's either got to be some kind of kusala, such as dana or sila or bhavana. Now, there are 4 foundations, and the Buddha speaks in detail about the 4 foundations. What are the details that he speaks about for these 4 foundations? The first one, Kaya; second, Vedana; the third one, Citta; and the fourth one, Dhamma. Together they refer to all conditioned Dhammas. Gaya, there is no conditioned Dhamma called Gaya, but there are conditioned Dhammas that we take for the body. Gaya means the body. The Dhammas that we take for the body are different rupas: hardness, softness, temperature, motion, pressure, which we take to be the body. That is what the first anupassana refers to, Gaya anupassana, the rupas that are taken for the body. Vedanupassana, of course, is Vedana. Cittanupassana is Citta. Dhammanupassana is all conditioned Dhammas, because in the detail of Dhammanupassana it is referred to as all conditioned Dhammas, and that includes the rupas from the Gaya Upassana as well as the Vedana and the Citta. So really, if we ask how to practice the 4 foundations of mindfulness, it means how can there be awareness and understanding of conditioned realities, right? And that's the question. And what's the answer? How can there be awareness and understanding of conditioned realities? That's what it's all about. That's what the Buddha's teaching is all about. It's that awareness and understanding which is the development of the path he taught. Do you have any suggestion as to how that may happen?
Yeah. To develop first mindfulness.
Right.
Number 2, I want to ask you about...
Hang on, we haven't finished number 1 yet. What are the conditions for the development of awareness and understanding of conditioned realities?
Satya. Yoniso Manasikara.
Yes.
Manasikara.
That's one of them, yes. Any others? What is the condition then for Yoniso Manasikara?
Goes to the good person and to listening.
Right.
Yeah. And
Hearing
to practice.
the Dhamma.
Yeah.
Association with the good friend.
Yeah.
What does that refer to? That refers to a person who has an understanding, an interest in the Dhamma and some understanding of the Dhamma. It doesn't mean they have to be an enlightened being, for example. It can be any friend among ourselves even who shares the interest and is able to discuss Dhamma in a way that is helpful. And then the second factor is the that is the association with a good friend. That is also the hearing of the true Dhamma. And if one has an interest in the Dhamma and one hears an explanation of the Dhamma in a discussion, then it will be a condition for reflecting on that, thinking about it, not necessarily at the time, but any time after that. And that may condition some moments of awareness and understanding. So it's not so much a question of how to practice, but understanding what are the conditions for awareness and understanding to arise of conditioned Dhammas.
And from the beginning, there has to be the careful consideration of what are Dhammas. Otherwise, someone may think there can be awareness of the body or awareness of sensations or something like this. So what are the Dhammas now that can be the object of awareness and understanding? Can you mention any Dhammas, any examples of Dhammas that can be the object of awareness now?
Yeah, I want to answer about the Dhamma. When to seeing and hearing.
Okay. Seeing and hearing, they are both Dhammas.
Yeah.
Can anyone see now? Can you see now?
The present. The seeing.
Yes. So no you that can see, only seeing sees.
No.
It's a Dhamma, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear anything now?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Because only hearing hears. Can you practice being aware of seeing?
No.
No. Why not?
Yeah. The hearing is the happen the natural.
Hearing hears by conditions.
Yeah.
So no one can practice being aware of hearing. Awareness, just as seeing arises by conditions, hearing arises by conditions, awareness also, sati also arises by conditions. No one can be aware, no one can practice awareness if one has the idea of going to a quiet place or meditating to be aware. It's not the development of sati and panya, it's the idea of I being aware or I practicing. So there has to be the listening and considering more and more about what are the Dhammas and the understanding that they arise by conditions. In order to understand, no one can do anything, no one can practice. And if we want to practice, it's just clinging to the idea of I that can do something. So the path is the understanding of different Dhammas. If there is an idea of selection, trying to be aware of the rupas that make up the body, or trying to be aware of Vedana, this is not the development of awareness and understanding, because again it's the idea of I selecting an object. So before we can even talk about Satipatthana, and the other day Sochi mentioned about some comments in the commentary, but without the development of pariyatti understanding, the right intellectual understanding about different dhammas in life, which are all conditioned, there can never be the development of understanding, the patipatti understanding, which is satipatthana. So in the beginning it is the development of firm understanding of what are dhammas, what are namas, what are rupas, what are cittas, what are cetasikas at this moment. So as you said, there is seeing now. no one chose the seeing to arise. No one practiced to see a particular visible object. It arose by conditions. And this is the same for every other Dhamma. So far, so good? How about, yes, so far okay? Do you want to mention your number 2?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, and continue number 2. The Buddha said that the training the mind will bring happiness. How can we train our mind to follow the path of the Dhamma?
Yeah. Could you repeat the question, please, again, one more time? The Buddha said?
Yeah, the Buddha said the mind will bring happiness.
The mind will bring happiness.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I want to ask you, how can we train our mind?
How can we train our mind?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any you or me or we that can train anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Panya develops,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
you or me or my. What is the mind?
Yeah.
What is the reality that is the mind?
Yeah.
What is the Pali for the mind? What is the word? What is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma and to build Kosala Citta.
Citta. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
citta is the mind. Seeing is citta. Hearing is citta.
Yeah.
Some cittas are kusala, some are akusala. So we're talking about the development of kusala with sati and
Panya.
panya.
Yeah.
So sati and panya develop, not I that can train sati and panya to develop.
Yeah.
So it comes back again to understanding what is Dhamma not. If as soon as there's the idea of what I can do, how I can train the mind, how I can follow a good practice, then it's all back to I, and so no understanding at those moments.
The trained mind, the mind that is trained, what is the reality of that?
To train the mind.
What is the mind that has been trained? What reality is that?
First, the mind that train is happiness.
Happiness.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Happiness all the time?
Yeah.
No, not possible.
To
Happiness is happy feeling. It can be kusala or akusala.
Kusala.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so I think the trained mind must be kusala
Yeah.
mind.
Kusala.
Yeah. And what kind of kusala did the Buddha teach?
Yeah. The kusala means to merit the reaction.
Yes, but
Or-
what kind
or-
of kusala did the Buddha discover that no one knew about before?
Yeah.
Because before the Buddha became enlightened, people knew about developing kusala already.
Yeah.
But what did he discover that was new?
Lokotara. Lokotara kusala.
Yes, but also before there can be lokuttara kusala, there has to be mundane insight. Yeah, insight, panya. Insight. Insight means understanding of what? Conditioned realities. So I think this question of yours, how can one train the mind, is exactly the same as the previous question, which was how can one practice the four foundations of mindfulness. Both are the same question, actually. about developing understanding of what is real at the present moment. And this is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. So we think of training the mind, or we think of practicing the 4 foundations of mindfulness, but really it's just always about understanding what is real at the present moment.
And what is happiness? Because the Buddha said what we take for being happiness, what we're used to taking for happiness, he said is actually not happiness. And what he taught as understanding the truth, understanding of dhammas as dukkha, this is true happiness. So without understanding dhammas, without understanding dhammas as anicca, dukkha and anatta, each one unsatisfactory, there can never be true happiness. So it comes down to understanding the nature of dhammas as they are. Otherwise, if it's just clinging to having more awareness and so one will have more happiness, actually it's just clinging that's being accumulated. It's not the understanding of the truth. So here and now, understanding what is seen now, at the moment of understanding, no clinging, no ignorance, for a moment only, and then gone. So whatever we discuss is about understanding Dhamma now, not about how can we practice, how can we train, because that is just more clinging that leads to more disturbance.
From your own experience, I want to ask you your own experience when you feel suffering or unhappy. Which Dhamma do you practice in your life?
Same question again. So unhappiness, what is unhappiness? It's just a moment of dosa with unpleasant feeling, domanassa. How long does it last for? How long does the unhappiness last for? Just a moment. It's just a moment of dosa and domanassa. Is it my unhappiness or your unhappiness, or is it just a dhamma?
Thank you very much.
It's just a dhamma. Can anyone practice or do anything? No, at all. So we're so used to thinking of I and what I should do and what I should practice, because the clinging to the idea of I is so deeply rooted. So the development of sati and panya is the development of understanding what is Dhamma, what is conditioned, letting go of the idea of I that can do something. If there is unhappiness, it's just a Dhamma, it's gone instantly. If there's happiness, it's another Dhamma, gone instantly. Each one unsatisfactory.
Did the Buddha teach happiness, or did he teach understanding?
Again?
Yes, did the Buddha teach happiness, how to be happy, or did he teach understanding, the development of understanding?
To understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
So understanding means understanding whatever is the reality of the present moment. If the reality of the present moment is unhappy feeling, then it can be the object of understanding. He didn't teach us ways of having less unhappiness and more happiness, because that is not relevant to the development of the path leading to insight. He just taught about understanding.
Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to ask the questions. not really a question as such, but thinking when you were talking about when condition arise and then you're aware of it. Like, for example, seeing, just the one that sees, not I, nor we, nor they, nor them. So I want to ask about the conditions. So how can we understand, is that a bit like the cause and effect?
Yes.
Like so.
So what are the conditions for seeing to arise now?
So the condition is because there's rupa,
Right.
yeah.
The rupa has to have arisen and it has to have impinged on the eye base.
Yes.
So if, for example, if someone is completely blind, even if a rupa arises, no, it cannot impinge on the eye base. So there has to be the rupa and it has to have impinged on the eye base. And what are the conditions for seeing to arise now?
Enough light to...
Light, yes.
Yeah,
The lightest
lighting.
aspect of that rupa, there must be light.
Yeah.
If it's in the middle of the night, actually rupa impinges but no colours. So there's
no
still
colour.
the visible object seen, but no light,
No
so
light.
no colour, but still visible
See,
object.
yeah, yeah.
And what other conditions for seeing to arise?
It's, manasika.
Okay, there have to
Health,
be
yeah.
different chaitasikas, including manasikara, which arise with the seeing to see the object. There has to be passa to contact the object. There has to be ekagata to focus on just that one object. There has to be manasikara tending. So different chaitasikas also condition the seeing. And what else? One very
So it
important
has to
condition.
be wholly, like a whole, multiple level of conditions.
Many,
if any,
many different conditions. And one other very important condition is seeing cause or result.
seeing is the result.
So what is it the result of?
The result of the mind aware of the rupa.
What is the mind? What is
So
the
it's
mind?
Jet.
Chitta.
Chitta.
So
Chitta.
seeing is already chitta. So
Yes, yes.
So seeing is chitta. So it's
It's a
result.
result.
Result of what?
A result of the rupa.
No,
Oh.
rupa is one condition,
It
but
is
it's result. When we say it's result, what is the cause of the result?
It's because you...
Not because you anything.
Sorry.
Okay, Liang can help you.
Yeah. It's at the tip of my tongue, but it doesn't come out.
The result of karma. Okay,
Yes, yes.
so if there's no karma, no conditioning that result, the seeing, the pleasant or unpleasant, to see the pleasant or unpleasant object, no seeing can arise.
No.
And if the object hasn't impinged on the eye sense, no seeing. And if the chaitasikas have to be there, so many different conditions for the seeing.
Yep.
If there hasn't been the chitta before seeing that adverts to the object, then there cannot be
cannot be.
seeing. So there has to be the chitta that arises before the seeing falls away, that it conditions the seeing to arise afterwards by anantarapachya. So we understand a little more about seeing now to understand no one can practice for seeing to arise. No one can stop it arising. No one can choose what seeing sees. And it's just the same with hardness. For example, the hardness here that is taken for the body. What are the conditions for hardness? It's not I being aware or I practicing. If the conditions for hardness to be experienced at the moment of touching, which is also the result of karma, then that hardness
Will result.
appears.
Yep.
And awareness arises by different conditions, by the habit, the accumulation of wholesome or unwholesome tendencies. So we learn that each Dhamma arises by many different conditions in order to let go of the idea of what should I do, how can I practice, how can I be aware of a particular object.
So the practice of let go, like you were saying, so there's more insight, understanding that there's no I, no we.
Yes.
So then what are the conditions that lead us to be more aware? Probably it's very, very similar questions to the, vulnerable
Everyone
before.
would like to be aware. So
Yes.
the clinging is there, the clinging to the idea of I that can be aware or should be aware. So seeing is result of karma. Awareness is not result. It's the wholesome habit that accumulates.
Yeah.
So considering now about dhammas as anatta is a condition for a little more understanding to develop, and at moments of understanding awareness is there, so they develop together.
Yep.
Will there be awareness at the next moment? Who knows?
Who knows?
Because it's
No.
by conditions, not
Yeah.
by I doing anything. So forget about I trying to be aware or what I should do or how I should practice.
Because there's no I from the
There's
start.
no
There's no I from the
start.
start. Yeah.
But beginning to understand and learn about dhammas is condition that understanding and awareness develop. When there's awareness, it guards against unwholesomeness. So at the moment of I practicing, impossible for awareness to
No,
arise
no.
at that moment.
Because I's already there. So, yeah. Thank you.
Talking about seeing and taking seeing for I see,
Yeah.
are they the same reality or different realities? Seeing
Yeah.
and taking the seeing for I see.
There's I see it's
Is that
it's
one
not
reality?
No.
It
Because
is
there's-
reality.
Because there's no I.
But taking it for I
Taking it for I, yes.
Is
Reality.
real.
Yes.
is a reality. Is it the same reality as the seeing, or is it a different reality?
Which is which? Which is which? I see I. There's no I. Ah. They're both different.
Yes, of course.
Both of them are different.
They are
but
different.
I'm still not sure about
Right.
the
So
questions.
let's go step by step,
Yes.
shall we? Yes. Do they arise at the same moment, or are they arising at different moments?
The seeing, yes.
The seeing,
The seeing.
and taking the seeing for I see.
Different moment.
Different moments.
Yes.
Yes. So let's say another instance is seeing and liking what is seen. Does that...
Different.
They are different,
Mhm.
happening at different moments.
Yes, because one is see with the eyes, and then Jetta
Right.
is the
So
one
if
thinking you
there's-
like it. Yeah.
If there's attachment to what is seen, for example, does that mean there can't be awareness of seeing?
There should be awareness of
There
seeing.
can still be awareness
Yes,
of seeing,
yes.
even if there's attachment, because
Yes.
they're different realities
That's right. yeah.
arising at different moments.
Yeah.
So it's the same with seeing and taking
Take see.
as I see.
I see, yeah.
These are different realities,
It's a different moment.
different moments.
Mhm.
So if one appreciates that, then we don't have to think that if there's taking it for I see, there can't be any understanding of the reality of seeing, for
I see.
example.
Yeah.
Because they each have their own conditions, and the awareness has its condition also, the understanding. If we if we have the idea that as long as there's an idea of I, there can't be any development of awareness and understanding, that would be wrong. That would be an obstacle,
Yeah.
because we'd keep thinking, oh, I'm thinking of I, so there can't be any awareness and understanding. But that's not the case. Different moments,
Yeah.
different realities. Each has its characteristic and function, and each may be the object of awareness and understanding,
Yeah.
depending on...
It's a bit like Gotsala. Gotsala is different, but
Right.
it happens side by side almost. Different moment.
A
Yeah.
moment of when there's thinking, oh, I can practice or I can see. Can there be understanding of the wrong view when it
Yes,
is,
yes, it
so
can
it
be,
can be
yes.
understood.
Yeah.
When there's clinging to what's seen, can that clinging be the object of awareness?
Yes, it can be.
So no need to think about which object it is of the four, which foundation, because any Dhamma can be the object if it
Of
appears.
awareness,
Yes. Who can select? Who can choose to have clinging now? No one does.
No.
But if there's clinging, it can be the object of awareness right
Yep,
here and
yep.
now. So if there is confusion now or misunderstanding, okay, it's just a Dhamma. It can be understood too, and it's gone. But it's not I understanding or I practicing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if Kim has anything he would like to ask, as he's one of the hosts.
Whatever. Next one.
Okay. How about Sochi? Any topics you'd like to bring up, Sochi?
Okay, thank you so much. I study in Satipatthana Sutta. There is two words that I want you to explain: Sampajano and Satima. The characteristic of these two Dhamma is Sati and Panya, but I'm not sure how does it work.
Sati Sampajanya. So Sampajanya is another word for Panya. So Jnana Sampajanya. So it's just another word for Panya. So we can talk about Sampajanya in the development of Samatha or in the development of Satipatthana. So Sati Sampajanya just means Sati with Panya. So it's a synonym for Panya. And
Satima. You asked about Satima.
Satima is Sati.
Yes, is Sati.
Yeah. But I'm not sure how does it work. Yeah.
What do you mean by that? How does it work?
Because in the Satipatthana Sutta say like Kaye Kayanopase Viharatis, and then at the end Satima Sampajano Satima Vinayaloke.
Yes.
So sometimes I confuse the awareness of the reality. Does it work? They work together or different?
Right.
Yeah.
So Sati cannot work on its own. It has to, in the context of the Satipatthana Sutta, it's working in conjunction with understanding. Sometimes the Buddha refers to mindfulness, like in the in the first limb of the Kayanupassana, about the bhikkhu who has gone to the forest and sets up mindfulness in front of him, that sort of thing. But we have to understand what is the reference there. And we appreciate that the setting up of mindfulness refers to the person who is in the habit of developing awareness and understanding already. So when he goes to the forest and sits down, the awareness and understanding is there. It's not something that he arranges. And so in the passage you mentioned, which is the section that appears at the end of each part of the sutta, about having overcome suffering and so forth in the world, I understand it to be that the sati cannot occur without the understanding, and the understanding does not occur without the sati. But in terms of the translation, I'm not a Pali. Yes, I don't know what the proper translation should be, but the meaning, I'm clear, is that both together.
So it's really just like we say at a moment of seeing, it can't arise without the assistance of the seven universal Chaitasikas. And at a moment of Satipatthana, even at a moment of Pariyati understanding, Sati and Panya both have to be there conditioning each other along with kusala, virya, kusala, ekagata, many other sobhana chaitasikas, sada, hiri, ottappa, many sobhana factors have to be there, all conditioning each other. So people read about the effort and they think that there has to be an effort to be aware, but no, it's referring to the kusala virya that arises together with sati and panya, the samavayama that arises together with the samasati and the samaditi. All the path factors have to develop together, arise together, condition each other together by sahajata paccaya, fall away together. And is it satipatthana understanding now?
Again, please.
Is there satipatthana awareness and understanding now?
Yeah, I think I get it. Let me share some idea about the question how to practice. Why many people always ask how can I practice? My idea is because of we cling to I. Since we were born, I do this, I do that. For example, ones who want to drive a car, they have to start learning and then practicing with the coach or something like that. But this is called the ignorance of ordinary people who always cling to the I. But they forget for unwholesome, we never claim or we never try to do it, try to make it like dosa, lopa and moha. We never ask how can I anger, how can I hate, how can I disappointed with someone. But when the time comes, appropriate condition, it happens. And sati is also the same, because like when Buddha taught Bahaya, Terujariya, the one who came to meet the Buddha when the Buddha was going for back food, Buddha did not tell him how to practice, but just teach him about the processing of the Dhamma that arise through the 6 doors, like Titte Tittamatam Pavisati. Yet seeing is just seeing. And Sote Sotamatam Pavisati, hearing is just hearing. And then Buddha said, you should learn this, not practice it, but learn it. Understand it, yeah. And at the last of the sutta, Buddha said, this is the cessation of suffering. Yeah. So the thing is understanding is very important. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's always the idea of what can I do, how can I practice, and as you say, that's just the accumulation of clinging and wrong understanding. And if there is the idea of practicing or doing something impossible for awareness or understanding, that is satipatthana, to arise, because there hasn't been the development of pariyati. So without understanding about seeing now, which sees, as you mentioned, just the visible object that is seen, the rupa that is seen, always there will be the idea of I. So the pariyati understanding has to be firm, otherwise it cannot develop. So usually people would like to learn about satipatthana and about vipassana, and then how can I practice, but no understanding from the beginning about what is Dhamma now.
And also understanding is not something that can be practiced. Either there's understanding or there's not. The idea of practicing to have understanding means there's no clear idea of what understanding is. So thank you for those comments.
And so Kaya, because often people read the Satipatthana Sutta and they think of an order and being aware of Kaya. So what is your understanding of Kaya, Sochi?
Kaya here is just the object of the awareness. And Buddha said, Kaya exists, but it's only the object of developing the awareness and understanding.
And what is the object? That is
Metta, Rupa Dhamma.
Rupa Dhammas.
Yes.
Yes, so Kaya actually means group.
Yes.
So
Group,
there
group
are
of Rupa
Nama
Dhamma.
Gaya
Yeah.
and Rupa Gama. So Nama Gaya refers to Chaitasikas arising together in a group. So
Yes.
at a moment of seeing, the Chaitasikas that arise together are Nama Gaya. And here it is the Rupas that are experienced that we call a Gaya. Actually nothing to do with a physical body, because there is no body
That's right.
as such. So the hardness that is taken for an arm, that is the Rupa that can be understood now.
Yeah,
And-
but for the Kayanupassana Satipatthana, I think it's easy to misunderstanding for the Anapanasati. You know, when they start studying about Anapanasati, they straight away to look for to the form of practicing. You know, so this is the problem that always happen. Yeah.
It is a problem because there is no understanding of what is the breath, which can be the object of samatha when
Yes.
wisely considered, and there's no understanding of the rupa that is the object of right understanding, just as it appears. And what does it matter what reality appears, whether it is dosa or kindness, understanding or meanness, seeing or hearing? The rupa, which is the very subtle rupa, which is referred to as breath, or the hardness in the body, they're just dhammas that arise and fall away. But as you say, it's a trap, because then people would like to practice and focus on breath, but no understanding of what
That's right.
breath is.
And on that subject, as you know, in the section on Kayanupassana in the Satipatthana Sutta, the first subsection there is Anapanasati. And people take this as an instruction by the Buddha to develop Anapanasati. But it's not an instruction at all. It's a description of a special case. That is the case of the bhikkhu, or the person, who has already developed the habit of Anapanasati as a subject of samatha development, and it indicates how that person can still develop awareness and understanding of conditioned realities at the same time as they are developing the subject of breath as a concept in the development of samatha. So it's not an indication that if a person wants to develop understanding of realities, they need to develop understanding of breath first. Not at all. It's just for those people who are already doing that for their benefit. Thank you.
The Buddha taught about the development of understanding and awareness of different dhammas, different namas and rupas on any occasion. If they're the ones who are in the cemetery looking at skeletons, or the ones that are used to developing samatha with breath as an object, or while putting on the robes, or while going to the bathroom, any occasion, any time, there are dhammas that can be the object of understanding. But as soon as there's an idea of selection or practice or focusing on a particular object, then, as you appreciate so well, it's the wrong path. I appreciate appreciate that so many friends here have been studying with you, and you've been sharing the understanding of Dhamma with them.
Anyone else? Okay, I just like to, after listening to the very nice discussion about Satipatthana and about the idea of understanding, it's made me click to one point that the idea of understanding can bring a lot of trouble, because each understanding of each person is differently. Without studying Dhamma or the right studying from Buddha teaching, everyone have different idea. So when they have different idea, of course they have different understanding. But the actual teaching from Buddha is the theoretical understanding, direct understanding, and the reality understanding. So for us, at this level, is an idea of understanding, not get to the point of the theoretical understanding yet. So we need to study more. That's my conclusion for the discussion here. What do you think, Sarah?
And is it right understanding panya that brings trouble, or wrong understanding?
A wrong understanding, definitely.
Because panya is panya. Panya
That's right.
can never hurt.
Thanks, Jonathan, for mentioning about this.
or bring any trouble. So that's why the Buddha taught about the right path and the wrong path. So the
That's
right
right.
path is samadhi,
That's
and
right.
so
But
on.
we
The
cling-
wrong path is miccha-ditthi. So, and when you say everyone has different understanding, but no one has any understanding.
It's an idea of understanding.
Panya can arise, or miccha-ditthi can arise.
Yeah.
But panya is panya. It's not mine or yours or
That's right.
anyone's.
That's right.
Just different, just
Yeah.
dhammas, yes.
Yeah.
So it's not like everyone has a different understanding, and they may all be right. Right understanding is right understanding.
Yeah.
Samadhi, no change,
Yeah.
not dependent on this person or that person.
Yeah.
And if it's not right, it's miccha-ditthi.
That's correct. So I'm just asking Jonathan, when panya arise, only when the right understanding is arise as well. Is that correct?
Well, panya is...
Panya arise because I was asking you in the first session about panya. You're asking
Yes.
me about that. So when is the right when is panya arise? It means that the right understanding is arise as well.
No,
at the
panya-
same moment.
No, they are the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't distinguish. It's not a case of understanding correctly and then having panya.
No.
But it is a case of, as we've said, one has to hear the correct explanation of the present moment reality, which is the Buddha's teaching.
Yep.
That has to be heard first and has to be considered.
But
And
initially you have to understanding, and then you have to considering as well.
well,
Then at that time is the understanding first, and then when the understanding, like you can say it's built up or pioneer, like you develop that, then panya.
so
will-
there has to be the understanding in a conventional sense of what has been heard. So if you didn't understand the language, for example, you wouldn't be able to.
I would
but
thought like that. Yeah.
You're able to listen
Yeah.
and make sense of what you hear, what has been heard. So if you want to call that understanding, yes, but it doesn't require panya. It's comprehension, right?
Oh, yeah,
Rather
yeah.
than understanding.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
I maybe picked the wrong word to say because it's comprehensive first, then
Yes.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yep.
And then the other factor is a consideration, but we need to appreciate that someone who can comprehend but doesn't have an interest in the Buddha's teaching hasn't developed understanding
Yep.
in the past, previous lifetimes. That will not be a condition for them to reflect on what they've heard,
Yeah.
because there'll be other things they're more interested in thinking about. So the reflection comes because of the accumulated interest
Yep.
in the Dhamma. and therefore it happens naturally.
Yep.
Not by ticking off this, I've done this, I've done this.
Yes. Yep.
Not by ticking boxes.
Not checklist.
Yeah, not a checklist. No.
Not following a recipe.
And there's no set thing about the time or how much consideration or when it will happen or when it will condition some awareness and understanding. And the other factor to consider is that awareness and understanding can be conditioned to arise but very weak, so it's not apparent. So there can be, understanding can develop unbeknown to us, because there's been the hearing, the conditions are there, so it must happen to some extent, even if it's so weak that it's not apparent. So if one has confidence that these are the conditions, and that by just pursuing one's interest in the Dhamma rather than trying to have more understanding, but one's interest in the meaning of the Buddha's teaching, reflection on the true meaning of what the Buddha was saying, then that is how it happens.
It's very subtle at that moment.
Very subtle.
Very subtle.
And this is why the Buddha gave the simile of the wearing away of the axe handle, like the handle of a tool, and it gradually wears away because one holds it so often, but who can see it or know it? One just knows that maybe compared to 10 years ago there's a little more wearing away, that's all. But no need to think about it, otherwise it's just more clinging to I and my understanding.
Yeah.
Just let the understanding develop naturally. If there was no understanding and appreciation of hearing about the truth, then we wouldn't be here discussing about dharmas now. So back to now, what appears now, thinking now, doubt now, seeing now, just different dharmas. So awareness can slip in any time, just like usually lobha slips in as soon as there has been seeing or hearing. Lobha slips in, clinging to what's seen or heard. In the same way, understanding and awareness can slip in unexpectedly, but not by anyone's choice, not by doing anything at all.
Okay. Can I go to the next question?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure. Before I listened to Jonathan, he mentioned about mindfulness and understanding. So you were saying that mindfulness is the kusala chitta, and understanding is associated with cittasika. What does that mean with that point that you want to mention about?
I'm using mindfulness to mean the mental factor of sati, awareness. And understanding is also a mental factor, panya.
But I was heard that when you're talking about the mindfulness, is you talking about the kusala chitta? That's
yes, I said that there is sati, the mental factor, with every moment of kusala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when there is dana, or observing, refraining from unwholesome speech, for example, the moment of restraint, that can be kusala. So that is accompanied by sati, mindfulness. But in the Satipatthana Sutta, it's just talking about the mindfulness that arises at the moment of understanding.
Which is panya.
Yes.
Thanks, Jonathan, for answering here.
Liang, question for you. So, we're talking about sati arising with all kusala chittas. What about vipaka chittas? Can sati arise with any vipaka chittas? They're not kusala, they're vipaka. Can sati arise with vipaka chittas?
Yeah, for vipaka citta. Thank you. Yeah, for vipaka citta, from what I have learned, it depends. Like seeing is also vipaka. Yeah, but no satis arise with.
Right, because it's ahetuka without roots. So
yeah.
Sati cannot arise at moments of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Yes.
Yeah. But some other result can have sati arise with.
Can you give an example?
Example, yes, a bit. From the lesson, it's a bit easier, but from the reality, it's hard to find. Yeah, but when because yeah, I know, but it's hard to give example for that.
Because there's a reason why we say that sati arises with all sobhana citas, not just kusala citas. So what does it mean, all sobhana citas?
Sobhana citta, because some citta that follow the Jevana in after the Jevana, like Tatilampana, so on. Yeah. Yeah, also.
What about the Bhavanga citas?
Yeah.
Bhavanga citas are vipaka.
Yeah, easier.
And in this life, it's a result of kusala karma. So the Patisandhi citta, the Bhavanga citas, and the Chuti citas in the in this realm or in Deva realms, which any realm where the birth is a result of kusala karma, those vipaka citas must be accompanied by sati because they have, when there are roots.
Yeah.
Because they are sahetuka with roots. So this is why we say that sati arises with all sobhana citas. It means whenever any citas that are accompanied by wholesome roots, sati is there.
Yeah.
Panya, it depends whether there are, how many roots there are.
Yeah. If only 2 roots, no panya.
No panya, yes. So a little more, so that we understand that we say moha arises with all akusala citas, but sati arises with all sobhana, because not just kusala citas. And what about the kiriya citas of the arahat? No longer kusala, kiriya, inoperative, but sati has to arise with them.
Yeah, thank you.
Little more.
Yeah, that's good. Good to remind. Otherwise, it's cover. Anyone else? I think I've got one. Yeah, thank you.
Probably not really in depth with through Abhidhamma, but it's like Abhidhamma. Because I do have Aussie friends who always ask about meditation. So they always ask, okay, give me the easy and quick one so I can follow. And I said, I do have a very basic book for you to practice about, watching your breath and breathing. So is that my telling them the way, is that the correct or... It's a good start for them to make a start on? I'm not sure.
Is watching the breath
in and out. It's observing and aware of it and then clear your mind. It is Kosala.
Why is it Kosala?
Because you are concentrating on rid of other mindfulness, really, on breathing, on your action.
Why is concentrating on breathing Kosala?
It's not Kosala. It's just action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in what circumstances? Why is in and out breathing one of the subjects of samatha development? How can it be Kosala?
Probably take away from unholy thinking of other activities that they've done in the past. No,
you could do anything. You could focus on anything for that. You could focus on your finger to take away from other unwholesome activities.
So in other words, it's incorrect what I've suggested to them. So
let's consider why it is an
incorrect.
Why is in and out breathing one of the objects of samatha development? Do you know what I mean by that?
It's why is it make one person aware of their own doing activities?
Not
no,
kusala, not
no
kusala.
kusala.
No,
I
no.
know. I did answer that. Yeah.
Like when I go to my yoga class and then
Yep.
people may concentrate on the breath, nothing to do with the Buddha's teachings. No, it's
no.
just, of course, there can be awareness at that time like any other time, but if there is the idea that concentrating on the breath or concentrating on the tip of the pen will lead to more awareness and understanding or lead to the development of the path, this is quite wrong.
It's a very easy way to get there, isn't it? If that's all you need to do.
It would mean everyone was enlightened. It would mean every
Exactly.
yoga in the yoga studio was enlightened, even though they've never heard
in 10 days or
anything
2
about the
weeks at the
Buddha's
resort.
teachings. Yes.
Yes.
So more beneficial to ask your friends, okay, what is the truth now? What is life now? How long does the life that is seeing now last?
I have
What
a
is
feeling
real now?
that those people don't really want long answer.
No.
They just
Help
so-
them to just help them to consider
I-
what is the value of meditation.
Exactly. Those,
What is the
that
self?
willing to listen to me a bit longer, I would offer them a book to read. I can explain a little bit from the very start, the reality and the karma itself, the cause and effect, and the, conditions arise, whole conditions arise, that
even
sort of thing.
simple questions like when giving at the temple, is it all good and wholesome, or are there moments of attachment and expectation, or moments of disappointment? So which are the good moments and which are the bad moments? And just little questions to help people consider that
Yeah.
the development of goodness is not a situation, but it's a moment. Is there
True,
seeing
yes,
now? At
yes.
moments of seeing, is there any kindness, or is it a different moment? Just little by little to help
Small
people
steps,
understand a
yeah.
little
Baby
more
steps.
about this moment. Is it you that is giving, or are there just moments of generosity? A little more difficult.
True, yeah.
But
Thank you.
On the subject of meditation, which your Aussie friends always ask you about, and I can appreciate
You like
that.
my husband.
Yeah. Did the Buddha teach meditation?
Sorry?
Did the Buddha teach meditation?
Buddha teach awareness, mindfulness. I'm not sure if it's called meditation. Samadhi. Yeah, so that,
Samadhi is
Samadhi.
not
No,
mindfulness.
not mindfulness. No. Samadhi meditation.
Give an example of his teaching Samadhi meditation. Do you know of any example?
No,
No.
I can't think of one.
So again, he taught the development of
Yes.
Samadhi,
Yes.
wholesome
Yes, yeah.
samatha,
Samatha.
which is sometimes called Samadhi, but that can be, and generally people think of it as being concentration,
Yes.
but actually it's the development of kusala.
Yeah. But concentration, not necessarily right concentration, it's just concentration.
Because there can be concentration for doing bad things.
Bad thing.
Yeah. So anyway, the short answer to your friends could be that the Buddha didn't teach meditation because they are asking you about the Buddha's teaching.
Yes.
They think they're asking about the Buddha's
Because
teaching.
they know I'm a Buddhist.
Yes,
So
yes.
therefore,
So you could
there
say,
is a
well,
Buddhist meditation.
he didn't teach meditation.
No.
He taught the understanding of life at
developing,
this
yeah.
moment. And they may or may not be interested to discuss further, but at least you're able to tell them something that is true Dhamma
Yes.
rather than...
Yeah. Like seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, like seeing.
let's just talk a little bit more about the distinction between samadhi and samatha. So
Yeah.
samadhi is what Cetasika? Ekagata Cetasika.
Yeah.
And which chittas does Ekagata Cetasika arise with? Every citta.
Every
There's
citta.
never a moment in
No.
life which ekagata cetasika doesn't arise with it. A moment of seeing, ekagata is there, focusing on one object.
Yeah.
If no ekagata cetasika arose at the moment of seeing, seeing could not see that one object that the ekagata is focused on. So it arises with kusala, akusala, vipaka, kiriya citas. It's one of the 7 cetasikas that arise with every moment. So akusala ekagata, akusala samadhi is very common. Samadhi is usually used when it is strong concentration, whether right or wrong. So when robbing a bank and opening the safe, very strong concentration, but it's akusala samadhi at those moments. When following a recipe and kind of very carefully and not even hearing the doorbell, because strong concentration. It's a kusala ekagata, like a kusala samadhi with loba at those moments.
Yeah.
Playing games.
Good example.
That's
A kusala samadhi.
Yeah.
So samadhi can be kusala or akusala. Usually akusala. When there is understanding and awareness, then it's kusala samadhi at those moments, kusala ekagata. So that's why sama samadhi develops with right understanding and right awareness. But when concentrating on the breath in the dark with one's eyes closed and focusing on it, it's all the development of akusala samadhi, yes.
So wrong.
One cannot say, oh, well, it's more samadhi means more awareness. It is not correct at all. Samatha, on the other hand, samatha is what cetasika?
Samatha.
That's equanimity.
Equanimity.
Samatha is
Samatha.
what cetasika?
Samatha, because from what I know, samatha and
Microphone, please.
Oh my, yeah, sorry.
samatha and meditation is
What cetasika is samatha? Not ekagata, that's
No.
concentration.
concentration.
Passaddhi cetasika.
Pardon?
Passaddhi.
Passaddhi.
Passaddhi. Calmness of chitta and calmness of cetasika. Passaddhi cetasika. So calmness arises with any moment of kusala. So whenever kusala arises, passaddhi cetasika arises too. So the citta is calm at that moment. So moments of kindness, moments of generosity, moments of understanding. There's calmness of citta and cetasikas. Passaddhi cetasika is there at those moments. No udacha, no disturbance, no akusala ekagata. So it's calm at those moments. Usually when people focus on an object like breath, with clinging, there's no calmness, no passaddhi. When we walk in the forest and sit quietly cross-legged, it seems so calm, so pleasant. But it's actually subtle attachment with pleasant feeling. So the goal is not pleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling is there, but that is not passaddhi cetasika. So without understanding the difference between calmness and subtle attachment, when they appear right now, samatha cannot be developed at all. So just focusing on an object with wrong concentration and clinging doesn't lead to the development of calm.
My answer probably just to my friends, like you said earlier, it's probably I find it too hard to try and explain to them. So
I know,
I
so just go in a corner and focus on the breath.
because
But just don't, yes.
I think it's probably something that's been discussed, and there's ways that people talked already on the internet. So I just said, okay, go and pick one of those and just do it. If you're not willing to let me explain further the way I do things, and some people will just say, okay, we'll do that. But the other, they want to ask more. Then it's easier for me to try and get them
I think
to
you
come
can
across.
just say to them, how about now? How about understanding what life is now?
Yeah.
What is life now?
What is life now?
And they'll
yeah.
say, well, life now is we're sitting together with friends
Chatting,
and
talking,
talking,
Yeah.
and well, okay. But now, when listening and chatting, what is actually heard now? What is seen now? If there's no beginning of considering what life is now, it means there's no beginning of understanding what the Buddha taught.
Yeah.
Impossible to, people go to the pagoda to pay respect to the Buddha, but without any understanding, there cannot be any respect for the
yeah.
Buddha or for the
The Buddha
qualities
teaching.
of the Buddha or the teaching,
Yeah.
or for the Sangha, those who have followed in his footsteps and taught others who've become enlightened.
And there wouldn't be that many books, textbooks, 110 textbooks, because it's just so much to understand as well with Buddhism.
So it has to be little by little. And it's a good test. I mean, I'm sure the Sochi and the Venerable are used to. It's a good test to just help, just a little bit, help the newcomer, like for us, the Uber driver just coming here. Just a big, strong Aussie guy with tattoos down his arms who's hasn't got a clue what Buddhism is, but just beginning to plant a few seeds just in the last 10 minutes of the journey that might be condition for him to reflect further. So it's a good
to discover
challenge,
a bit
not
more.
just tell him, go and practice breath in the corner.
Under the tree.
Yes, yeah. Just how about understanding a little bit what is life like at the moment? Now we're sitting, what is experienced? Is it a cushion or is it just softness now?
Yeah.
Just something to consider. Is there a God or a Buddha one should pray to, or are there just different mental and physical phenomena in life now? What can be proved? What can be tested?
Yeah, true.
And like the other day, someone said, how is this evidence? What can be proved? But at the moment of touching now, is it a table that is touched, or is it just hardness now? So let them begin to have a little experience, a little understanding. Precious opportunities.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have time, or we're about to run out? Just to continue on that topic about how to help someone to start. Occasionally, there's people come and say, a lot of people they think that meditation is about like the normal conception is go somewhere, temple, etc. So for me, sometimes I question them. I just also for myself as well. I say, why do I want to do that, or why do you want to do that? What do you want to achieve out of it? What is your goal? So if someone have the idea of seeking something, seeking calmness or enlightenment, or they think of the end of the path, there is some reward for them to achieve because they want to run away from the current stressful life. They say, I can't just deal with it. I just want to go away. And so if for those people, I actually, and even for myself too, I really, consider why do I do something? What do I want to get out of it? And actually, it does help me sometimes as well. In addition to question what is happening now and in the present moment, to see the reality. The question about the intention. What is the intention behind all of this wanting? Is it the right way? Could you please just guide me through this process? Thank you.
It's not the same as having understanding, is it? Try asking why you think, why you are having these thoughts. It's not the same as actually understanding anything about the present moment reality.
It's consideration. It is about
But
investigation.
it's investigation though with a view to finding an answer in a conventional sense.
Actually,
So
not
what is my
necessarily conventional.
motivation? What is my motivation for? Well, in the case of the other people who are asking you, for example, they presumably have some idea about meditation and thinking that it's related to the development of the path. So that's not a correct understanding of the Dhamma. So that's quite obvious. But in the case of oneself, the inquiry that you're looking into, behind it is the idea that the answer to that will bring some kind of change to the mental state or to the likelihood of recurrence or whatever. So I won't say there's anything wrong, because it's, in conventional terms, it may be useful, but it's not the same as understanding the reality of the present moment. And if we have the habit of doing that, of reflecting on what lies behind the fact that I'm having this kind of thinking, I don't say it's something one should stop doing, because it just happens naturally. But let's not confuse that with the Buddha's teaching on, which is understanding the reality of this moment.
How about, can we say...
Just before you go on, isn't it just more about the story of I? What do I want to get out of it? What is my intention?
Yes.
So it's actually about me and my intention and what I'm getting out of it, not the understanding of Dhamma now.
I think to some level it is about aware that this is the intention is happening. It is about the intention. It is not recognize. I'm learning about, the reality is just intention, not that I am making this decision to do it.
No, but it is, as you say, it's thinking about it. It's the story about it.
Yeah. Going too far would be the story, but like if I stepping back and simply say it is just the intention. It is not the elaboration of the conventional world happening after that, but it is the intention of doing this or that.
Right.
It is trying to choosing, picking, and doing this instead of doing that. It's just the act or the work of intention only.
What is the reality of that moment, or those moments?
That is Chetana is happening, wasn't it?
Thinking.
It's happening.
Thinking.
It's thinking.
Thinking about the story.
It's thinking about intention. It's not awareness of the intention. It's thinking about what the intention might have been, for example. So it's just a kind of thinking.
All the inquiries would be just thinking.
Yes, generally. If it's not the understanding of the present moment, it's a kind of thinking.
But if it is leading or guiding the thinking on, again, it is still thinking always at that level, but
Right.
until...
And that thinking cannot be a condition for awareness and understanding.
It's like we said on the first day about the examples of, like if there's attending to the anger or the trying to catch the different manasikaras or trying to work out the chetana, the subtle clinging to I is there behind it.
Yes.
Because it's not the understanding of just what appears now. It's thinking that it's useful to somehow think about or work out what that intention or manasikara or other dharma is. So it's so subtle. The clinging is so crafty.
Yeah.
So what about seeing now, hearing now? Otherwise, it's thinking about what was my intention. So it's I behind it there, unknown, very subtle. And on the question to friends about meditation, if someone says, like even this Uber driver, he said, yes, he thinks of Buddhism as meditation, but he really doesn't know. But one can say, what about now? Can there be meditation now? Like with our swimmer friends in Manly, they all swim, and if you say, well, what about now? Does one have to go somewhere, or what about now in the ocean, or any time, or changing? And actually people appreciate that. They appreciate that it can be here and now, no need to go and do something which is, why waste time going to the temple or focusing on breath, because there can be understanding, if you want, call it meditation, anytime, any place. And actually the word is bhavana. So bhavana means the development of understanding. It doesn't mean focusing on an object or trying to be aware of any reality or selecting an object of sati. It means understanding here and now. This is bhavana. So shall we call it bhavana instead of meditation? And then no need to think of special place or time at all. What do you say, Sochi, when people come and ask you about meditation? What do you say?
Yeah, I got a lot of questions about that. But before I give the answer, I always let them know that I'm not a meditation teacher. But I just explain the Buddha's teaching and show what we have to understand in the present moment. People who have depression because they think all things that happen to them are permanent. Like some bad thing happen and then they wish all problem to get it off. But they don't understand all problem or all objects that arise are also impermanent. Anicca Dhamma, like Buddha said, Sabbe Sankhara Anicca-ti Yadhana Pandit Tukhe, something like that. Well, one understand the reality of Sankhara Dhamma, which is impermanent, arise and falling away rapidly. This is the best way to develop, to understand. So nothing stays still. Even the displeasurable feeling is also impermanent. Yeah, just a moment and then falls away. But when we cling to something that we wanted, it is the cause of the new suffering. Yeah, this is what I always explain.
And usually they never come to you or anyone and say, I've got a problem, I have so much pleasant feeling and so much happiness in my life. No. Can you solve this problem? They just come when there's a lot of unpleasant feelings, say, I'm so sad and feel so depressed. But what about all the pleasant feeling and joy and happiness at moments of attachment when everything is so nice and good?
Yeah.
Because without the clinging, there's no aversion. Or they never come and say, I've got a problem that there's just ignorance all day in my life and not understanding anything. Everyone wants to get rid of the unpleasant feeling, and that is the problem. And they think the problems are outside. They think the problems are the difficulties the family members are having, or the exams, or the school, or the situation in Cambodia or Vietnam, but it's the clinging now, the ignorance now. Otherwise, no depression. Right. And as you say, the unpleasant feeling is just for a moment and gone.
Yes.
Anatta, not belonging to anyone.
Yeah, and
just briefly, I like it that you say to these people who ask you about meditation that you're not a meditation teacher. Was the Buddha a meditation teacher?
I think sometimes people get confused with the word meditation. Not only for meditation term, many words that translated from Pali term make people get confused. I think meditation existed even before the Buddha got enlightened, because the way that people take the object to practice or to get something that they want to, but it is not the way that Buddha taught. Maybe they use the meditation in Buddhism to stand for the vipassana, but actually vipassana is not meditation.
Is samatha development meditation?
Actually, I'm not sure the English words, English term, but all the Buddha's teaching is develop the understanding to eliminate the defilement, not to attach with something.
What do you say when people who have some knowledge of the of the history of Buddhism and the Buddha's enlightenment, say, well, the Buddha developed jhana before his enlightenment, so doesn't that mean that we should develop samatha also?
There is I read in the Visuddhimagga about the jhana to eliminate defilement. There are two ways, samatha jhanika and vipassana jhanika. But it doesn't mean that one have to develop samatha before they eliminate all defilement. Because as you said, the samatha jhanika always have in this world, even there is no Buddha. Jhana always have, but it is not the way to cease suffering.
Right. So it's not the essence of the Buddha's teaching.
No.
And the essence of the Buddha's teaching is
to understand right understanding.
Reality.
Yeah.
And also we can say, if when that point is raised, that we cannot tell by looking at the Buddha's life what is important. One can tell by what is important is what the Buddha taught. So if the fact that he attained jhana before his enlightenment, it doesn't mean anything. It's what he taught his listeners about the path. And we need to appreciate. Another thing that people say was, well, monks in the time of the Buddha meditated, because there are descriptions in the suttas of the monks who are developing samatha to a high degree and spend their time sitting in quiet places. Yes, there are those descriptions, but again, the question is not what was happening, but what the Buddha taught to his listeners about the development of of the path. Yes.
And I think in the Buddhist society, they focus only on the object of developing understanding, but yet not focus on the right understanding. Like talking about the 40 samatha kammatthana, it is just the object. It is not something have to develop, but it's only the object. But because of lack of explanation about the bhavana, the real bhavana, people cling with the object. Yes. That's why it's kind of a narrow path to develop the right understanding. Yeah.
And even for samatha, is it the object that is crucial? Because the question I was asking earlier, why is having the breath as object a condition for kusala?
Because it is real.
Breath is real.
There are two kinds of breathing. One is talking about the reality of a matter that arise through breathing, and the other one is the object of samatha.
Right. So as object of samatha, it's not real, right? It's a concept.
Not real. Yes.
But why is it a condition for kusala? samatha?
It can be the object of kosala because Buddha, the commentary of the Satipatthana Sutta compared to the mind as a naughty cow. The mind is like a naughty cow.
Right.
Monkey mind. Okay. And contemplation on the breath is like we tie the cow to.
Yes, I understand the simile, but what it boils down to, I think, is that it's the way that the subject is considered. Because, for example, death can be object of samatha development, can't it?
It's
Maranasati.
yeah, Maranasati or
Death. So
yeah,
it's-
many of
Yes,
them.
it's the way that the subject is contemplated that makes the citta kusala,
Yeah,
not the object itself.
that's right. Whenever we take them as the object, but not to cultivate the attachment.
For example, if there is trying to focus on breath now, like we said, it's just clinging with wrong concentration, no understanding of any kind. If we're talking about the development of samatha, then there can be reflection naturally that actually without breath we wouldn't be here. Life depends on breath, and if no breath, that's it. So it can be a condition for calmness even now, just like reflecting on death. Death can come any time. This may be the last conversation we have.
That's right.
So it can be wise consideration that life is short. What is important? Death can be now. It can be a condition for kusala and calm. But if it's just thinking about, just focusing on death or thinking about death with fear, no calmness. So it's a way of contemplation. And if we're talking about breath as object of satipatthana, it's just a subtle rupa conditioned by citta that appears at the nose. But it could be, but any rupa can be the object of understanding. So it's not any big deal. It's just a Dhamma that's gone. If there's any trying to focus on it or trying to be aware of it, then for sure it's the wrong path. Yeah, it's very interesting talking to you and all the very excellent questions. And yeah, I appreciate everyone's deep consideration and study. Does anyone have any basic questions they'd like to ask before we finish, or anything that's on your mind that you want to bring up?
Let me have another question for the beginner of listening to the real Dhamma. First, let me share my experience of listening to the Dhamma discussion, especially your group. Before I started learn Paramada Dhamma, your conversation didn't make sense to me at all. You said about right understanding, the present moment, but actually I understand the word understanding, but the thing is I don't know what is understanding about the present moment. But after I study Citta, Cetasika and Rupa and something like that, I back to listen again, something different. I understand what you talk about. So do you have any recommend for those who want to understand the real teaching of the Buddha? What should they study? Yeah.
I think the main point to emphasize from the beginning is that the Dhammas are not in the book. So it's not a matter of just memorizing the different cittas in a VT process or learning which cetasikas arise with each cit. Because if there's no understanding at this moment, it just becomes a memorization of details which will all be forgotten. We had a very close Vietnamese friend who drowned a couple of months ago, and I was listening to a recording and she was asking some very detailed questions. She had a lot of interest in the Abhidhamma, and Ajahn was stressing, what about now? Because otherwise it's just book knowledge and end of life. What's the use? And like a short time afterwards, she drowned, end of life. So what is precious is not the words, the terms, the labels, but understanding what is now. So we have to use words, we have to use terms, because otherwise no one knows what is now. So we have to talk about seeing, we have to talk about hearing, and a little more, what is birth consciousness, what's the first moment of life, can there be unpleasant feeling with karuna, a little more, but it has to be now. Is there unpleasant feeling now? So it can't be understood at this moment. Is there happiness now? Yes. Kusala or akusala happiness? Different moments of enjoyment, being happy to be with friends, moments of considering or kindness or sharing. So different kinds of pleasant feeling. But if it's not related to now and it's just book knowledge, then it's not useful. So I think I mentioned the other day, like in the simile of the snake in the commentary, Yalagadupama Sutta, the Buddha talks about the catching the snake in the wrong way. If one reads the suttas but thinks it's all about this person and that person, it's catching the snake in the wrong way. If one studies the Abhidhamma and one just learns more and more details, one can go quite crazy with it, trying to work out. We once had actually when we went to Cambodia in 2000, when we met Betsuan, we had a discussion in English, and one American Thai friend, he put on the table all these graphs and diagrams of his study of different paccaya and what's related to each other, and very complicated, very beautiful. And Ajahn Suchin just wiped it all aside and said, what about now? What about now? So it has to come back to this moment. So Jonathan wants to make a final comment.
Yeah. Just on the question of does the Buddha teach meditation. So even samatha development, which people think of as being sitting in a quiet place somewhere, it has to begin in ordinary daily life. The development of that kusala, those moments of kusala, begins now, because there are moments of kusala arising naturally in daily life, as one is polite or considerate or refrains from harsh speech, for example. And it's by acknowledging the value of those moments of kusala, that samatha begins to be developed. Because otherwise it's just those moments are just accumulating. So even if we're talking about samatha, it's not correct to call it meditation. One can say that it's not, because people have the idea that, for example, for developing metta, they should go and sit down somewhere and think about the whole world and have metta. That's not it at all, because there is opportunity for metta now in daily life, and that is the beginning of that development. So no meditation.
Yeah, it's time. I think it's time. I'll just say I'll go back to Tham, just then talking about because everything is in thinking mostly. Even now, I'm listening to John and Sarah. My mind sometimes go away to a monkey mind. It's just because of the question of Ajahn Sujin always ask, what is it now? So what happened now? So because of this word that bring me back what I'm doing now. But I know that it's still I'm doing, yeah. But it means this is the way that develop mind to become back. or else the mind still fly away. Even talking sometimes, like this morning, that we're talking about as like feel grateful that know the real Dhamma, but pity, my mind run away. I'm pity on the people that not even know about Dhamma. You see, my mind is run away from me for that moment. It's just like thinking, idea of thinking.
But also, there's no sort of technique either.
Yeah.
So just to say, what about now, as a thinking that, okay, it's going to be a condition for...
Yeah, that's...
there's no rule about that. It's not a practice. But sometimes it can be useful to be reminded of that. But it shouldn't be something that one keeps saying, no.
If they're thinking of the other people or about the flight, and it's so natural. It doesn't matter at all.
That's right.
Don't mind at all. So like I'm thinking, oh, now it's time we leave. It's just ordinary daily life. Understanding can pop in any time at all. Don't try to change it or stop it or
but it's
make
a way
another
to,
way. It is here and now.
Yeah.
The thinking is about them or about the flight, or it's here and now. There can be understanding any time.
Yes.
Otherwise, there's again the subtle idea that one shouldn't think like that or it should be stopped. No, just let it be, and it's what is now. Okay, so thank you all so much for...
Just feeling like slower than before. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, John, for your time.